My name's Dave Mutton and I'm here in the Dordogne region of France at Étangs de Papillon. Étangs de Papillon is a 3-lake complex with some absolutely fantastic fishing available for both catfish and for carp. The site and the complex is run by Exclusive Angling Holidays, which is headed up by the husband and wife team of Nick and Charlie Gann. Hopefully at some point we'll be doing a bit of a chat with Nick, and he'll give you a bit more information on the history of the lakes, his involvement with them and so on. But for now we're going to give you a brief overview of the 3 lakes and the packages available. The word exclusive is used a lot, and sometimes out of context, but here it's really in context. The holiday packages are very tailored to your needs. There's drive and survive, there's fly and survive, there's off-site accommodation in either gîtes or on a holiday park, a caravan park. So it's suitable for bringing the families to as well, or a partner, or if it's just you and your mates bivvying up on the lake. Couldn't be easier. You can even fly into Limoges Airport. Full tackle hire is available. Just bring your terminal tackle and everything else can be provided. The meal package is probably the best I've ever had in France. Full cooked breakfast and evening meal, consisting of a main course and a dessert. Really is to a high standard and a good quality, just like the fishing. Behind us we've got Lac Rouge. We're going to take you through the different swims on Lac Rouge. We've been fishing here for a few days and had some absolutely fantastic action from some seriously big catfish. I fished Lac Rouge last year, so I'm not new to this site. Fished it last year, absolutely fell in love with the place and was over the moon when Nick and Charlie asked me if I'd like to come back and do some filming on their behalf. I've got with me Jordan Ackers, who's come along. Jordan hasn't been to the place before, it's his first time here, so what are your first thoughts about it, Jordan?
Well, my thoughts is the whole complex is absolutely fantastic, and each one of the 3 lakes is just a work of art with loads of fish to be caught. And you know, I've been here for the past week, had some amazing catfish, and it's been nothing but absolutely fantastic this whole trip, and I will be coming back here again. You know, even though this is my first time, it's been enough to probably convince me to come back year after year after year, and that is really my thoughts on it. And I'll probably, you know, be remembering this trip for a long time. So that's my thoughts. I will be coming back.
And that's what it's about, isn't it? Remembering trips. You want good trips. You want those memories. And this is certainly what's on offer here. It offers memories of the catfish, of the whole ambience, the scenery, the wildlife, and having some nice food thrown in as well. Don't do any harm. So what we're going to do
is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
So what we're going to do now then is we're going to have a little bit of a walk around the lakes, show you the 3 lakes, some of the swims. I'll give a little bit of an overview of the lakes, and we'll show you the facilities that are on offer here, some of the social chill out areas that we've got lakeside, you know, little pagoda type things. We've got the chalets here for cooking in, you know, little kitchen areas. We've got the toilets and showers. You're never too far away from anything. So it isn't just 3 lakes in the middle of a forest in France with no facilities. There are facilities here that are absolutely fantastic. The only thing the facilities are exceeded by is the quality of the fishing. So let's go and have a look around the lakes. Right, I'm now on Lac Vert, which is the carp lake of the complex. Beautiful picturesque lake, full of really pretty carp. The carp in here go to £50, just slightly over, I believe. It's a lovely little lake. It's not the biggest lake in the world, but it comfortably gets 3 people fishing on. It's a really nice lake, and I know that Nick has taken real care and effort in the stocking of this lake. He hasn't just bought a load of fish wholesale from a fish farmer and dumped them in. You know, these have been hand picked. There's some real pretty fish in there, different strains, some scaly ones and all sorts. He's mixed it up a little bit to really give fish that are going to be, you know, pleasing to catch and maybe a little bit different from the norm here in France. As I say, it's a lovely pretty little lake. As well as the carp, there's I think there's general coarse fish in here as well. As you can see behind me, we've got one of the local guys fishing on a feeder. I haven't seen him catch anything yet, but he does admit he's out of practice, so maybe that's all it is. Behind me, we've actually got Nick and Charlie actually doing some work here. On this lake, as with the others, they're very, very keen to offer everything that they can for the visiting angler. You know, that they really do look after the people that visit the site, and they're in the middle of erecting a gazebo, as you can see, which is there for your comfort. You know, on days when it's either too hot or too cold. We've had a little bit of rain this week. It's now glorious sunshine, and that's just a nice relaxing chill out area that you can sit in the shade while your rods are out waiting for your next screaming run off a beautiful French carp. So here we are in the shower block. Got a shower here with plenty of hot water. It's a lovely shower, and honestly, you know, you'll need a shower. Well, catching all these big catfish and carp, you know, you don't want to be a stinking mess by the end of the week, so the shower comes in really handy, and it's nice, and there is hot water, plenty of it. Obviously we've got the toilet, hand basin, mirror, we've got pegs to hang clothes on and so on. So that's everything you need really. Well appointed, clean, tidy, does the job. Right, so that's the toilet and shower block sorted. And if you ever do get confused about which chalet is which on the complex, well, this one is well signposted. Right, now let's go and have a look at Lac Bleu. Right, so here we are on Lac Bleu at the Cookhouse Chalet. Everything you really need is in here. We're going to take a little look inside. This is situated roughly halfway along the lake, so it's good access for everybody. But let's take a look inside. In here we've obviously got the gas burner, ideal for doing a brew on. Obviously, I don't leave your rods to come and do a brew, but you know, if your rods aren't out, you can come and have a brew, do a bite to eat at lunchtime, whatever. You won't need to do too much cooking on there, because trust me, have the food package, it's brilliant. But as well as the burner, we've got a little sink there. You'll notice there's a food fridge and a bait fridge, ideal to keeping the bait cool, and any drinks, any snacks or whatever. Plenty of crockery and cutlery provided. So yeah, it's a really good functional little cabin, you know, that just helps out in your stay and saves you having to bring everything as well. So it cuts down on all the gear you're going to need. Nice little touch. So this is the little chill out area at Lac Bleu. Got this pagoda here. Obviously helps shelter you from the sun, because it does get very hot down here in central France, obviously through the summer months. Also, you know, when the odd occasion when it's raining, you can sit out here, you can still watch your rods, you're not cooped up in a bivvy. If you have the food package, it will be delivered here, so breakfast, evening meal, come and sit down with your mates, share a bit of banter about who's catching what, and have a bit of catch up and social time. Ideally, if you want to get the rods in for a couple of hours and have a beer together as well. Plenty of seating, as you can see. there's even a little wood burner, so if you're here early season or late season, when it's perhaps, you know, not so warm in the evenings, stick a few logs in the burner, get that going, you know, nice and toasty. Just another little nice touch of exciting exclusive angling holidays. So this is swim 2 on Lac Bleu. Swim 1 is just a little bit further along the bank that way. As you can see, you've got some great features here. You've just got this one, oh, there's something jumping as we speak. There's 2 of them, not sure if they were cats or carp. There's definitely something active down that corner. Just these fantastic overhanging trees and just sheltered places. You just know that the cats are going to be lying up under there in the day. You know, it just screams catfish to me. One of the things I like about Lac Bleu is the fact that, as you'll see, all the fishing is done along one bank. There is one swim on the far bank, which we will go and have a look at. So, you know, if you've got somebody in your party who's a bit of a Billy No Mates, or somebody that snores too much, you can always throw him over on the far side. But generally, fishing from the one bank. And it makes it a nice social atmosphere. It's also ideal if you've got somebody with you in the party that perhaps isn't so experienced, might need a little bit of help. You know, you've got people either side of him that can help, him or her of course, that can help and assist them. In fact, this venue is that suited to that as of this year, 2018, I've actually moved my annual catfish school here. After fishing on Lac Rouge last year and seeing the facilities and seeing the setup here, I decided to move the catfish school here. Lac Bleu is the original cat lake on the site. Very well established, very big head of big fish, 70s, 80s, 90s, £100 plus fish, and you know, plenty of big serious heavyweight cats. This is also the home to Red October. Now, Red October is a cat that is uncaught, or certainly hasn't been caught for a long time. It's been hooked and it's been lost. It is estimated at being around about £140. It was netted when they did a netted operation in the winter a couple of years ago. It was netted, it was never weighed. We want it to remain a bit of a surprise. As I say, it hasn't been caught. And again, another nice little feature of the place is the first person to actually to catch Red October actually wins a week's free holiday here. So how good's that? So the hunt for Red October's on. So this is swim 3 on Lac Bleu. Essentially it's a double swim with swim 4. You're kind of sharing the social area with the pagoda, one person fishing to each side of it. So nice swims if you're like me and you're a bit messy and you want to scatter gear all over the place. You've got loads of room behind you to put whatever you want there. You're in the main body of the lake, so you've got plenty of water to fish to. You've got from swim 3 you've got the edge of the island, and you've got all that lovely looking far margin. Great swims, you know, commanding a fair bit of water. Just past swim 4, further along the bank, you've got the open grassy bank there. Again, plenty of room, which is where you'll find swim 5. So again, you've got the open margin to one side of you, and you've got all that nice tree line to aim at. And of course, not forgetting just the open water itself. Don't be afraid to put baits in the open water. Stick a live bait out there, or a bed of pellet and fish over the top. Fish a chunk or meat or anything. There's lots of baits that will work on here. Squid, mackerel. I've got my own catfish chunks that work really well. There's loads of stuff on the market. Worms work here. You know, we've had some good fish out on worms. just give it a try. There's lots of baits that will work. The fish aren't particularly tuned into any one particular bait. They'll have a go on everything, so bring a selection with you and see what actually works on the day. But there's plenty of big catfish in this lake to target, and what a beautiful setting to be targeting them in. So here we are in swim 6 on Lac Blue. It's fair to say it's a little bit compact and bijou. Probably more of a stalking swim, in fairness. Gives you some lovely access to some water though that, you know, looks prime for holding a nice cat or two. Doesn't get used that often at all, but if you've got somebody in your party that's a bit of an antisocial person, or somebody that snores too much, heaven forbid, then kick them round here. Gives you more room over the other side. Right, so that's Lac Blue then, which is the original cat lake on the complex. Now let's go and take a look at the new cat lake, Lac Rouge. So this is swims 5 and 6 on Lac Rouge. This has been my home for the last week. We've had some amazing fishing, some cracking cats out again. I've actually had a few carp out as well, which is quite a surprise. Wasn't fishing for the carp at all, but we've had some nice pretty fish, so I'm not going to mow that up to £32. Bit of a shame to catch on heavy gear, of course, but still nice to see them. I really like this swim. Swim's known as the Outback. You know, it's a little bit more off the beaten track, but as you can see, it absolutely screams catfish. You've got the island and the channel behind it. You've got all these overhanging trees. The far margin over there is a great area for the cats. You've got some firm bottom on there. The cats use it as a patrol route. We've got roots and snags and overhangs up in the corner, and that's produced big fish this week. And it really is a lovely swim. You've got fantastic fishing. You've got a nice big grassy area, plenty of room for all your gear. I mean, the place looks like carnage when I've been fishing here. There's gear all over the shop, but it's because I've got the room for it. We've got the nice shelter, which is good, whether it's, you know, when it's too hot, or, you know, even if it's raining or whatever. Lovely swim, full of hard fighting, fantastic catfish. So here we are on swims 3 and 4 at Lac Rouge. Quite a different feel to this swim from the others, in that you've got a real mix here, mixed bag. You've got plenty of open water to go at. You've got the whole of that far margin, which is a cat holding area. The cats patrol along there. You'll find some nice firm bottom just off the margin, overhanging trees. You've got the channel, which is the start of the back of the island. Cats will move up and down in that channel, so you've got plenty of ambush points to target them. One of the big advantages of this swim is you are right where the cookhouse is. So if you want to make a brew in the middle of the day, you can just nip in there with your rod still in the water, get the kettle on, and away you go. Your bait fridge is in there, the food fridge is in there, everything's set up. Lovely little swim, plenty of space, and it's just a nice looking swim as well. You know, you've got a real nice outlook, all the tree lined margins, you can see down to the dam wall. You get a real good view of the lake here. So if there's fish moving about, if you can see cats moving, tail slapping and so on in the evening, you've got a good chance of locating fish from this swim. So it's well worth a go having a look at swims 3 and 4. This is swims 1 and 2. Big swim, both in the amount of water that's available to you and the actual size of the swim itself. There's so much room here. You spread out as much as you want. In terms of the fishing, so many features. You can see the obvious features, all that far margin, the overhanging trees. You've got overhanging trees on the near side margins. You've got the Monk Gate over there. Lots and lots to go at on this lake. It's produced some real big hits of big fish. And it doesn't matter really where you are. You know, you've got a chance of picking up fish. One little tip for you on this lake though. Don't be tempted to use backleads. Backleads is a big no-no on this swim. Reason being, a couple of rod lengths out from here, there's actually a sunken wall. There's a wall in the water that's actually used for drain down purposes to separate the lake. When they lower the levels, it's used to corralling the fish, netting the fish, so for the fish management. That wall is a couple of rod lengths off, extends across, so what you want to do is make sure your lines are well clear of that wall. I'd advise, particularly, you know, fishing those out on those far margins, keeping your tips in the air, keep your line off the water, out of harm's way. But don't view that wall as a bit of a pain, because it's actually a feature. The cats will actually patrol along that wall, and not just at the bottom of the wall, they will actually move up and down on the top of the wall, and cats are regularly taken by actually putting a bait on top of the wall. If you use a marker float or just a lead, you'll soon find it. It's a big old feature, you can't fail to miss it. When I was here last year, one of the lads was actually doing some weed clearance out of this swim while I was here, and he showed me it. He got the boat above it and got his oar, and bang bang bang, you could feel the bottom. So it's a big feature. Fish a rod on top of it. I know Nick was telling me that he always sticks a rod out on there and he catches so many fish from there. So underground wall, overhanging trees, the Monk's Gate, lots and lots of open water where you can, you know, just bang a livey out in the open water. You can scan pretty much the whole lake from here. So it really is a good starting point for looking at what's happening on, what's going on in the lake. I mentioned you've got big open space for setting your bivvies up as well. You can spread your rods out a little bit. Real nice swim. Plenty of space for gloving fish, getting your glide mats down to the water's edge and gloving fish up. We've got the bench at the back so you can sit and have a chat with, you know, have a brew. We've now got a cover overhead, so again it's a bit of a sunshade. So nice swim. Probably it is the most used swim on this lake, and with good reason. It's an absolutely fantastic swim. We're now in swim 7 on Lac Rouge. This is the hidden swim. Small swim. In fact, my cameraman said he expected it to be bigger. I did explain, no, it's small, that's why it's hidden. But this is really a stalking area more than a swim. There's room to get a bivvy up if you wanted to bivvy up from here, but it's an ideal place for dropping a few baits down, keep trickling some bait in for a while, maybe over a couple of days or so, particularly if you're fishing maybe on swims 1 and 2, nip round, trickle some bait in over a couple of days, and just come and bring your rods and your net and your unhooking gear and have a go from here. I know it's thrown up some good fish. Doesn't really get utilised. People tend to just sit behind their rods, behind their bivvy, and they're missing a trick. As you can see, you've got this fantastic margin along this side, the overhanging trees here and here. You've got an area which you're not really going to get to from the other swim too easily. So you've got some pretty much unfished water. You certainly from the other swims not going to be able to get tight into it like you can from here. So definitely, you know, in my opinion, worth having a go here. Trickle some bait in, tight to these margins, and then give it a go. And you never know, you might end up with a very, very good fish out of here. Right, as I mentioned earlier, we've got Nick Gann with us, who's the owner, along with his wife Charlie, of Exclusive Angling Holidays. So, first of all, thanks for having us here this week, Nick. It's been absolutely fantastic, mate.
Pleasure.
Really enjoyed
Nice to see you
it.
again, Dave.
Yeah, and you, mate. So, tell everybody about your sort of like the whole story of Exclusive Angling, how long you've had it, and so on, and how it came into being.
Well, moved to France for a change of lifestyle. Bumped into John James, who had the lakes, and I used to pay for fishing. Then he said, "Do you want to help me out on the Saturday changeover for free fishing?" So I did that for 10 years. Helped him out with chainsaws, tractors, and doing all the lumpy
Just
work.
doing all the grunt work.
Doing all the grunt work, yeah, which is good, which I liked. It's fine, loved it. Loved to be in the fishing, because it's always a dream for people,
Yeah,
isn't it? And then
oh,
just-
definitely.
It was totally accident. And John got to 65 and he said, "I'm going to sell the lot, or do you want to take it on?" So I said, "Right, I'll give it a go." And that was it, really. So I'm on year 6 now then.
Year 6.
6 year.
Yeah.
On my own.
No, I mean, you know, one of the things I've noticed at this lake is the time and effort that you and Charlie put into it, making sure it's not just about the fishing for you, is it? It's the whole environment,
No,
isn't it?
people need to be comfortable. That's why the shower block needed to go in, because it was proper drive and survive, off-grid sort of stuff. So,
Yeah,
you know, we built the well, all stuff comes down, fresh water comes down. We've got solar panels for charging all your batteries, so we're totally off-grid, which is the way it is. So,
yeah. I mean, I hesitate to use the word drive and survive when I'm describing this place, because it does. Drive and survive to me does make it sound like, you know, it's kind of a bivvy on a lake and that's it, and you are just barely surviving. And nothing could be further from the truth here, could it?
No.
You know, with the meal package, the shower block, you know, the sun shelters, all the rest of it. Is that really how you see it, as providing that overall package?
well, I think it was called Drive and Survive because everywhere else calls it Drive to Survive, but if you get dirty, get slimed up with the cats, you just go down and have a shower,
Yeah,
nice and clean.
yeah, you know, and it's certainly, you certainly need the shower after fishing here a couple
yeah.
of days, don't you? You know.
You think you don't need it, but you do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, we've had some fantastic fishing again this year, Nick. So, you know, thank you
I'm
for
happy.
that.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan's absolutely smashed his PB. He's over the moon. I've had some hard fighting, you know, 80-pound plus cats and a load of other backup fish as well. And so it's clear there are a good head of big fish in here. What plans have you got for the future regarding sort of stocking of the lakes?
Well, I mainly find the cats from carp waters that want the cats out. So I like to bring home. I have a French friend who likes to fish with lures, not for eating. So all the smaller ones I get, I give to him. When they get over 55, 60 pounds, he gives them back to me. So there's always recycling, never killing of the catfish. The smaller ones goes to him. When they get too big for his little lake, we bring them back here.
Yeah, so it's proper sort of managed fishery in terms of the stock that's in there.
If I get some more bigger ones, which I know that I've got some places to fish, and the people are going to give me some bigger catfish this year, I shall start taking some of the smaller ones out and putting them over to his lake.
Yeah, so I think that's important to note as well, that if you know somebody that owns a carp lake in France that's got cats in and they do want them removing, get in touch with Nick, because they're more than welcome here, and they'll have a good home here.
I mean, I don't condone putting the cats on stringers, because that's not what I want.
No.
But if there's lots of carp waters around here with cats in, when the cats get caught, I instruct them how to put them on the stringer with the knot that's not constricting.
Yeah.
And I come and collect them on the evening when I can. And it's the safest and humanest way to transport them, otherwise they're going to get killed anyway.
Yeah.
So I give them stringers, and then I say, give me a ring when you catch one, and I'll come and collect it, and that's fine. So that's what I do. Really.
Yeah, yeah. So what kind of stocking levels do you think you've got? I know it can be difficult to gauge exactly, but in Rouge and Blue, you know, roughly how many cats do you think you've got in each? And
well, I know
weights.
I know this lake's got 46 to 50 fishing, which I think is just about right.
Yeah.
I don't want any less and I don't want any more. So those numbers will always stay between 45 and 50. But I shall try and, as they grow on and I get some bigger ones, the smaller ones will go on.
Yeah.
Blue is a little bit unknown, but I've put the draining in 2010. There was 40 that went back, and then when we drained this lake I put in another 20, so there's 60 in Blue. I mean, there's been a couple that's died, which is normal because everything dies sometimes, and everybody gets ill. But I'd like to drain Blue next year, just to see exactly what I've got and I haven't got, just for a personal.
Yeah.
As a fishery point of view, you need to know what you've got.
Yeah.
Have you got too many? Have you got too less? I mean, it's all very well having the myth.
I was going to say, from an angler's point of view, that could be quite nice.
It's beautiful. Well, the myth.
Yeah.
And there's all the stories each week of being smashed to smithereens. All the experienced cat anglers are proper smashed down there.
Yeah. As you know, though, I got smashed here the other night. I mean, you know the background behind that fish, so don't you? So.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd love to see that one out.
Yeah, mate. Tell us a bit more about that fish then.
Well, there's a carp lake, big carp lake, 15-acre lake, just down the road from Chalou. It's called Lac Ribière. Diard, Nicolas Boissier drained the lake. All big. It's all carp orientated. This is 2.5 years ago now, and there was a catfish that came out weighed at 160 pounds, and the cats were getting killed because it's a carp lake. All cats killed, but one of the helpers took it back to his farm pond and put it in there. 1/4 of an acre, maybe less, and through word of mouth with the French that I was doing with and doing lake drains, he said, I've got a big cat in my pool at home. And I said, well, can I come and have a look? He said, well, you can have it. It's if you can come and fish when you want, and if that's the sort of fish you're talking about, then. And he said, no, I just want it gone because I didn't want to kill it.
It's fair play to him.
So I went down there on a cold frosty morning, -7, and put a siphon on. And he took an hour or so, and we dropped it down, and with a catfish landing net, we could see it slithering, and I managed to get it out of the silt and put it in here. But it weighed 118. It lost a lot of weight. It was a long, skinny fish. It was long as Ron's cat's mats, 15 centimetres shorter than those cat mats over there. Well over 2 metres.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, when that's full, that's potentially a big fish. It came out at 160.
Yeah.
There's no reason to suggest, back in here it won't get up to 160
No, well, I give them plenty of food.
Yeah.
There's plenty of fishermen feeding them, so.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I've caught plenty of big cats in my time.
Yeah.
And I've had plenty of the 80s and 90s out of here. And the cat I hooked the other night was a different league.
Yeah.
It just carried on going. The joints click as I'm tightening up to it. It didn't make any difference. He just went, and then took me into some trees. That was goodbye to the cat. So shock leaders are now the order of the day.
Yeah, I think so on these lakes, because they are gravel pits. There's silt in the middle with the old stream, but they are dug out for gravel pits. So when you're fishing braid, I do think a shock leader is a good idea.
Yeah.
20-30 metres.
Yeah. After hitting that fish the other night, I tend to agree with you. The tubing came off and the shock leader went on.
There's pros and cons with braid. mono, braid, mono,
Yeah, of
and
course.
there's 50%. I'm on the fence.
Yeah,
If you're fishing braid, fine. I do demand a metre
Yeah.
of tubing, minimum. But I think the downside to braid is under tension, rocks, snags. It's not very what's the word?
abrasion resistant. I think
Abrasive
you're-
resistance.
Yeah, yeah. Like you say, because it's got a thin diameter under pressure.
But
you
to
know,
work
and
with
the
big mono
material.
all week,
Yeah,
so I think 3/4 braid, 25% shop leader, FG knot on the end. Join the two together.
Mm.
Practice at home.
yeah.
Get
That's
it right.
Yeah, I mean, and that's an important tip for anybody coming to fish here, isn't it? Make sure you know how to tie good knots.
Yeah.
These fish will test every inch of your gear.
Yeah, you're on the limit.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You know.
It's like in a cart with match tackle.
Yeah, exactly.
You're on your limit.
Yeah. You know, I'm fishing, as you know. I'm not shy of fishing heavy. I'm fishing 100-pound braid, 6-pound cat rods. And I was just hanging on. it was great. It's one of them, you're kind of really, really scared, but loving every second of it, And I'm just hanging on, thinking it's going to slow up in a minute. It's going to
No, you
slow
can't
up in a
stop
minute.
them.
No.
I've seen people that I'll lock it up and everything's big, everything's heavy, and I've seen big swivels go,
Yeah.
which is there's a lot of pressure there to make a swivel go.
Oh yeah.
One end's round, one end's gone like a rectangle, and then just gone straight.
Yeah.
So they've
I
got to up the braid, up the hook link,
Yeah.
and then you can't lock them up because then something will
go.
Something will go.
Yeah.
You can't lock them
You know,
up.
I've seen it before where hooks have straightened out, where fish have been locked up. Worst comes to the worst as well. Worst possible outcome, you could damage the fish locking it up.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to end up with ripping hooks through fish's
No.
flesh, do you? Because you're locked up.
No, well, all the lakes are supplied with a rowing boat as standard for take your rigs out, and also it's a massive security. If you get snagged up, you can go out with the boat, get your rig back.
Yeah.
If the fish goes round the drain, you follow it.
Yeah.
One on the rod, one rowing nice and slowly. So it's quite evil, or not evil, but it's physical. You've got to follow them.
Oh, of course you are.
You've got to follow them.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
it's not easy, but that's part of the fun.
Exactly. If it was easy, you'd get bored of it, wouldn't
Yeah.
you? It's certainly.
Oh, I love leading the tails.
Yeah, and I mean, that, like I say, if it was that fish, I can't say for certain, but it was certainly a different level, above anything else I've hooked in here. So it looks like you've got potentially very, very seriously big fish in both rouge and blue.
Yes.
Now, which is good because I think it spreads it about. People aren't going to favour one lake over the other, are they?
No,
It gives them
no.
both an equal go.
Well, I put in 12 over 100 in here.
Yeah.
102, 104, admittedly just hundreds, but there's 12 in this lake which are definitely over 100.
Yeah, and that's got to be worth targeting for anybody, no matter who you are, isn't it?
There's a few 90s on the board this week.
Yep, the 90s on the board, 80s, the 70s on the board. We've had a good
They'll
mix.
come around.
Say that again, sorry?
They'll come around.
Yeah, that's right, At the end of the day, it's been an enjoyable week. Temperatures have been a bit against us. It was horrible at the start of the
Awful.
week, wasn't it? Yeah,
8 degrees.
Yeah, 4 degrees the first night we got down to. And yet I had 6 cats the first night.
And jogging
was-
up Bermuda shorts.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, he did. He thought it was France, so he thought it was like he was going to some tropical island, I think. Whereas there's me in my waterproofs and fleece, and he's in shorts.
Well, it's nice now.
It is. But no, thanks for your time, Nick. I know you're a very busy guy. And it's nice for you to
Pleasure.
come down and spend some time with us. So all I can say to anybody watching this is, if you're looking for some good catfishing, great company, fantastic food, and a real nice ambience, lovely surroundings, check out Exclusive Angling Holidays. Thanks, Nick.
Here's Dave.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our little tour of Exclusive Angling Holidays. if you are considering coming to France and looking for a catfishing holiday, then check Exclusive Angling Holidays out. The website's in the description box below. You will not be disappointed. Fantastic venue, fantastic facilities, run by fantastic people. On that note, I'd like to thank Nick for allowing us to come and film here. Thanks a lot, mate. Much appreciated. I'd also like to thank Jordan for being the cameraman and putting up with me all week. So, thanks, guys. I think you'll both agree we've had a fantastic week of it.
Indeed. Thanks a
Brilliant.
lot, Nick.
Thank you.
Mate.
Jordan.
Good to meet you.
If you're a little bit nervous about coming to France and targeting big cats on your own, as I mentioned in the film, I run my catfish school here. I'm booked on here already for 2019 to 2020. I have got places available, so if you're interested in that, contact me directly on my website, Specimen Fishing UK. The details again in the box below. Thank you.